Hi guys, and welcome back to Your Money Matters. I'm Joanne again, and it's getting kind of cold, and I think it might actually snow tonight, so I'm gonna make this a kind of short video, but I would like to quickly go over businesses as part of our investing series in Car Chats. By the way, if you like what you're seeing and you want to learn more, or you want to get updates on all of my videos, be sure to subscribe and like, because right now I'm super small and every single like helps a ton, and every subscribe I'm just gonna love you. So anyway, so what is a good business? I know that Charlie Munger and Warren Buffett talk a lot about wonderful, spectacular businesses, and I think that when the average person hears that, they think, well, how are you supposed to know that? I mean, a lot of people might think of nonprofits as being wonderful, and of course they are. Or they would think of, like, you know, something where a business does donate a lot of their charity to an organization, or maybe a for-profit business that really treats its employees well. And all of those things can qualify a business to be wonderful. But we aren't just talking about that when we talk about a wonderful business as Rule 1 or value investors. What we mean by a wonderful business is something that is incredibly important to understand. So first off, they have to be a business that you can trust wholeheartedly with. I know Warren Buffett famously says, if you want to buy a wonderful business, you know that you've made the right decision when you would consider the management team your best friends, when you would consider them somebody that you would want to date your son or daughter. He, as somebody who is a multi-billionaire, Warren Buffett actually meets with these people, and he makes sure that they are so trustworthy, that they have so much honesty and integrity and talent, that he's not even going to consider a management team that doesn't hold those values. And at the same time, Warren Buffett considers businesses wonderful when not only is the management wonderful, but the competitiveness of the business being wonderful as well. So what do we mean by competitiveness? And by the way, I know that every single person watching this probably doesn't even have like $100,000, let alone $1 million, let alone $1 billion. You know what I mean? It's important to take away what Warren's talking about, not so much by the fact that, oh, I gotta meet the CEO, or, oh, I gotta know the management personally. That's not what he's saying. He's saying that he personally does that, but if you were to extend that to yourself, just read what the CEO and read what the management is saying. Maybe read what the employees are saying about the company that work for them. Just kind of read up, because the internet is available, and it was something that Warren and Benjamin Graham and Charlie Munger, even Phil Town, like all these people didn't have the internet when they were starting, and that would be a wonderful place to start, just to learn about the management team. But what I was saying is, Warren doesn't just consider the management team when he's buying a private or a public company. He's also looking at the competitiveness of that business. And that's really important, because it could be a wonderful team, it could be on a sale, it could have all these wonderful things. I'm saying wonderful so much, I'm sorry guys, but it's true. It's a really good word to describe what he's talking about. But they could have all these things. They could be like the most amazing business, but what's going to happen if they go out of business in 2 to 5 years? What if a competitor sees what they have and they're like, ooh, I want that, I want to copy that. And if they're able to, it's not looking so good for that wonderful business. It's not looking so wonderful anymore. So what I mean by that is you have to have a durable competitive advantage, meaning what do the sales look like? What's their revenue stream looking like? And you're going to want to be looking at all those numbers. What's the cash flow for that company? You can find all of those on the SEC website if you go to the company and download their financial, annual financial and quarterly financial reports. You can find a lot of those numbers on there, or you could just Google it, go to Yahoo Finance. But you need to look at these numbers, because if you look at them over 10 or 15 years and they're trending down, ooh, that's not a good sign, right? It means that their competitiveness is probably waning. If you thought that they had a really good brand, or you think they have a good price, if their price is, if their revenue is going down and their stock price may be going down, stock price I wouldn't consider to be one of those important numbers, but if it is trending down, you're gonna want to know why. So that's where, that's one of the reasons where price comes into it. But I would more focus on its sales, its growth, what's the CEO saying about the company? Like, if it has a really good competitive advantage, you're going to see it in the financial reports. You're going to see it in the shareholders' annual letter. The CEO is going to sing its praises, and it's going to tell you exactly why it is the #1 company in the industry. And that's why a lot of times they preach that you just really stay in an industry that you know a lot about, and you don't, especially at first, you don't venture much outside of that one industry that you know a lot about already. It serves a dual purpose. One is that you're not investing in stuff that you don't fundamentally understand the industry that it sits in. But another reason why so many gurus tell you to stay in just the stuff that you know, another reason for that is that you also need to be able to know when to buy and when to sell, because if you don't understand it, it can just run into a lot of problems. But also, as you're beginning, a really good reason to stay inside an industry you understand is that, you know, you don't want to jump in too big. I know the stock market for me was really overwhelming when I started out, and I did have to focus to a few companies. Like, I can understand one industry. I could probably learn it in a month or 2 months, but if I was trying to learn, if I liked a bunch of companies and a bunch of different industries and I had to learn every single industry from scratch, ooh, that would be really intimidating. And you probably wouldn't even start if you had such a huge goal ahead of you. So it's so intimidating. But yeah, that's kind of why I teach you guys to just stay in whatever industry you find the most interesting, because there are a lot of them that you're not going to find interesting at all. Like for me, for example, I know that oil prices, I know that a lot of oil companies are on sale right now, but one of the reasons I'm not looking into it is because I don't find it interesting. And sometimes that's enough just to be like, it's too hard, and just put it in the too hard pile. Like even Warren Buffett, who's a friggin' genius, he has a whole list of stuff in his office of companies that he just says, it's too hard, it's too hard. Like he didn't invest in tech companies until like recently, considering how long they've, you know, how he's friends with Bill Gates, and he didn't even invest in Microsoft when he was friends with Bill Gates at first. So it's really important to understand that it's not a bad thing to think that an industry or a company is too hard. It's really not. But to summarize everything, a wonderful business doesn't just have amazing management that you trust and that you're looking at their public messages and the stuff that they're sending on social media. It's not only that, but it's also, are they competitive? Like, and do I understand them? So that's all I really wanted to talk about today. I know it's a bit shorter than usual, but I hope to come back later this week or next week with some more content for you guys. If I seem a bit rambly, I apologize in advance. I don't script any of these videos. I'm just speaking from probably hundreds and thousands of hours now of learning, trying to learn this stuff. So I'm just going to stick to the basics for now so that you guys can really grasp what I'm trying to say, because I'm really aiming these videos towards beginners, and if I'm going too fast or if some stuff is too easy or too hard, just let me know. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed it, and see you next time.